Good morning, friends. Welcome back. Good to see you this morning. I hope you had a good night last night. I started watching the new version of Little House on the Prairie on Netflix, just out of curiosity because I've seen the whole series a kabillion times. I love the Little House series. Anyway, fell asleep watching it, so I'm going to go back to watching that later today, I think after I've had a nap. I'm telling you, been awake since 3 a.m. So I don't know. I don't know. Weirdness. Anyways, we are on 11 here, which is blue violet, and we are using complementary colors. So on my color wheel, I've got blue violet, and your complementary, if you use this little dealy bob right here, is the one that's directly across from it on the color wheel. And so we've got blue violet and we've got yellow orange. And the prompt says to use several shades of both colors to create a collage or abstract image. So I had an idea and we'll see how it works out. And here's where we were last night. We left off on blue and using the, what did we use? We used split complementary. So that would have been yellow, orange, and orange, yellow. So let me go ahead and pull, and I am going to be doing a little watercoloring. And listen, I'm no pro at watercoloring, so there's that. And then what I've done is these are flowers from Art House Whimsy. And normally when you print them out, they're in color. Well, I took them into Photoshop, and there are many, many applications that can change something into a black and white. And I printed them out in grayscale, I should say. And then I've been coloring them, so I thought I'd color one of them on camera so you can see how I color these. The paper, the printer is my Epson, I think it's a 2800 Echo Tank, and the paper is Epson Premium Presentation Paper. So also, good morning, Blossom. Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Maddie. I use to color these. Um, I use my pastel pencils. These are the, let me get one where you can actually see the writing on it. These are the Stabilo Carbothello, and boy, I wish they came in more colors. I came as close as I could to violet blue, because I have purple and I have blue. This is kind of a violet blue. So I colored 4 of the flowers. And I'm going to color one more, and I think I want another yellow one, another orange yellow. And these aren't exactly orange yellow, they're more closer to orange, but it's what I have. So use what you have, friends. And then I have this sort of terracotta color, which I'm using for my shadows. And so, like for instance, this flower is very light in color, but I believe that I want to use this one. I don't know that I want to cut out those leaves though, so let me rethink my life here. And let's do this one, which is similar to this one and this one. And I've taken out my pan pastels, I've taken out paint, I've taken out watercolors, and these are all shades of ultramarine, which and imperial violet, which I'm probably gonna have to do a little finagling to get the right color. It's crazy when I start looking at my stuff, and I have the whole Tim Holtz collection, and the only color that really comes close to violet blue in the Tim Holtz is and it's not even really that close, this Blueprint Sketch. It's still a little on the blue side, so no biggie. Let's see, eeny meeny miny mo. Yeah, I think I'll do this darker one because I think I want a darker tone. So let's make sure that I'm in frame here and I can still see what the heck I'm doing. And I'm going to come in with my lightest color first. And I'm just, listen, I've got a super technical tool. It's called a Q-tip. I love these pencils. They're my favorite thing. Good morning, Paula. Not moving much this morning. I understand. We're expecting some severe weather here. So, um, but we're always expecting severe weather. It's Alabama. So I'm just kind of lightly following the lines that the artist drew. And then I'll just take this and smear it. And so I'll blend it out a little bit. And in some cases, I have to add back in some of my darker lines because it's not completely translucent. It will kind of blur out those lines. And then I'll come in with a little bit darker to continue to add shadow and depth. Same thing, just blend it out. And then the darkest. And I'll just do that kind of towards the bottom. Yeah, I wish they had a lot more colors in these Carbothellos because they are amazing. Especially, if you're not trying to, if you're just trying to color something in. I have some of the Tim Holtz pencils, but you can't use water on here. It doesn't take water well at all, at all. Is this the lightest one? Yeah. But I still want this flower to be a little bit darker than um, one of the others. So I'm just filling in, and almost like you would color with alcohol markers. Blend. And I don't care if it goes outside the lines because I'm going to fussy cut these, but you can erase it. So there's that too. I'm just trying to get color all over it. And then I'll add my shading and such. With this darker one. And it doesn't have to be exactly as the artist imagined it, because if you bought these prints, you'd see they're all different colors. They're beautiful. I love them as is too, but I really wanted to stick with the color wheel prompts here today. So I was doing this with a blending stump, but I found that the blending stump really wasn't giving me the movement I needed. And so my finger was working well, but you really don't want to use your fingers because, well, for one thing, you've got oils on your fingers and stuff, so they also don't move as well. So I'm just coming in to the shaded parts and adding this dark kind of terracotta color. Friends, that's just how quick and easy this is. No waiting for it to dry. Does it smudge off? No, not really. In case you were going to ask. I would ask. That would be one question I would ask. So, I need a little bit more right here. Q-tips are so handy. Oh, good morning, Di. Okay. So now I want to come in and do my middle-y thing. And I'm going to do just like the others. And I'm just dotting in the color here. And then dotting in some of the dark around the darker pieces. And this can be totally impressionistic. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'll just take the other side of my Q-tip. Boy, that Q-tip quality has gone downhill, hasn't it? I mean, seriously, this is an unused Q-tip and it's all funkified. I'm just going to dab my Q-tip on here, just kind of blend those out. And then if I need to bring any line work, I've got my Prismacolor. I was looking for a different one, but I couldn't find it. And I'm just going to do just some, you know, kind of make-believe. Not exactly like the artist did it, lines and dots. And then just kind of bring back a little bit of that line work into this where I blended it all out with a very light hand. And it doesn't, I don't need a lot. There, I've got my flowers. I'm going to have to fussy cut those. The prompts are, let me find them. Complementary, blue violet complementary, use more than one tint or shade of both colors to create a collage or an abstract image. So I'm doing kind of a collage, but kind of not, because the next thing I need to do is my background. And so this is my swatch sheet for my Kuretake Kansai Tambi paint, watercolor paints. And so Imperial Violet, Ultramarine Pale, and Ultramarine were the closest. So let's move all these things out of the way here so I can do my sky. And I'm going to show you my inspiration piece. Looks like it comes from a game. I don't know. Hang on. My fingerprint does too match. So something like this. Of course, I'm not doing mushrooms, I'm doing flowers, and so I'm not going to be able to get that luminescence because it won't look right. So I'm going to do what I can to sort of fudge that, but this sky and stuff is what I'm looking at. Well, thank you, Lee. Appreciate that. So I'm going to have a moon. So let me get out my moon mask so I have the right size. And I think I'll have my moon over here. And we know that masks aren't wonderful with watercolor, but I'm not going to stress over it at all. I don't have any of that masking fluid. I can stick this down temporarily just so it kind of stays where I want, but I don't want anything sticky on there because what if the next medium I want to use isn't going to handle sticky very well? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plop my magnet on there, maybe even two of them. Oh, there's a tiny little piece of a staple on there. And there's not a whole lot of space to work with on here. Yeah, I try and start exactly on time and get busy with it because I personally am a person that loses patience and tends to walk off if there's way too long of an intro. I'm like, okay, I'm bored now. And that's a me problem. Let me get a mop brush here. Let's get some water on here. And this is just cheap watercolor paper. That's all I can afford, so that's what I use. And if it bleeds into there, it's not a big deal because I'll probably paint my moon on. I forgot to get my paints wet too. Of course. Where is my water sprayer? I tried to prep this morning, but I started feeling sick to my stomach, so that's just the story of my life. Let's pick up some of this blue. You know, I think I want to tap off. Let me grab a paper towel. Yeah, I'm just, and oftentimes I'm watching the replay already, and I'm watching it at 2 times speed. I don't know. I guess ever since Instagram, I have the patience of a gnat. And if you ask me if I know what I'm doing here, no, I'm not a this isn't watercolor isn't exactly what I do. But okay, I want this darkest. This is more of a purpley. So see, this is all looking very blue. I want more purpley. But see, that's too purpley. That's more violet than violet blue. So I'm going to have to fudge around and add some more blue. I don't know how to mix paint colors. I just don't know how. I mean, probably could figure it out. It's not, I'm sure it's not rocket science, but it's not something I do every day. But just trying to get this blue violet. And that's too strong of an edge against that. I can tell you that right now. So when I do my videos, I try to do what I like to see, what doesn't annoy me. And again, it's a me problem. It's not a you problem, my friends. I'll get blue violet here if it kills me. I mean, it's okay to have a little bit of violet in here or red violet, but you guys know I'm trying like heck to stick to the colors and the prompts. This is going to need a second coat though. It's way too light. I need it darker. So let us dab this off before I lift it off. I want to dry that because it will wreck it. A little bit of dabbing there. And I always like to say, you know, don't quit before the miracle. Now, what the heck happened to that edge right there? Whatever. Whatever. Let's give this a dry. Okay. I can leave that area there completely alone. I'm going to just get this Imperial Purple out of my face and just come in with this one. So I don't really need my mask now. I'm going to leave light areas because, you know, it doesn't matter. Come on, I need a lot more paint on there. I don't know about my opinion on these paints because these are the only watercolors that I've ever had. Except for, you know, Crayola ones when I was a kid. And I'm just going to mop back and forth here in the foreground. I want it much darker. I feel like if I add a little black, I don't know. Just kind of loosen up those rough lines. Don't like those rough lines. Oops, I got some on my moon. Of course I did. Of course I did. All right, let's deal with that before I get it everywhere. How did I get water on the back? Oh, I don't like those fingerprints. Get rid of those. All right. Let's dry it up. I kind of like the looks of it when it gets all weird, smudgy, watery like that. I'm going to have to figure out why my moon got flat right there. I don't know what happened. Okay. Hi, Linda. Good morning. Okay, so I want to fix that. That just is going to bug the ever loving crud out of me. I'm going to take my PH Martin's Bleed Proof White and see if I can't fix it a little bit. What brush do I want? I think I want a flat brush. And fix where I got gloobers. This stuff's pretty thick. There, I feel better about it. It's not perfect, but it's not flat. I don't want it flat. And let me just fix all these little bats or whatever. And I am going to fade this out anyway. You'll see that in a minute. I'm going to be using my Pan Pastels. But I do want to just kind of delineate and fix any boo-boos. This stuff, Miracle Worker. It screams Tim Burton sky. Kind of does, yeah. It's working on it, but you'll see. You'll see. I always say, always, don't quit before the miracle, because just because you're looking at it going, wait, what? There's more to come, my friends. A little water and just kind of clean it off. So if I need to use it again, and I will. And what's cool about the PH Martins is even if you forget and leave it on your brush, it flakes off. It's cool. I really like that. I like it a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my. Let's get the rest of the moon on. Is that about dry? Yeah, it's almost dry. I need to. See, I don't have a blue violet in the pan pastels either. I'm gonna grab the white. Is this white? Let me make sure that's white and not blending, because I one of these blends, and I don't know which one it is. I think it's this one here. And I've got a little makey up sponge. Yeah, trust the process. I know, same here, and I'm always telling people use your pan pastels, and then I'm not using my pan pastels. So this is how I'm kind of softening the edge of that moon. And I'm going to be doing another trick that you guys have seen me do before many times. I want a little bit of color. And so I've got a yellow orange here. It's more orange, but I'm just going to dip a tiny bit. Just kind of come around this edge here. Blend it out. Nobody said this had to be ultra realistic. It's fantasy. You can pretend to be blue. Yeah. I mean, I have a blue and I have a purple. I just don't have an ultra or a this blue. My paint wasn't dry there. Too bad. Too bad. So sad. I'm not sure that I really want to add all this in there. I might add a little bit of it. A person should be patient and wait for their paint to dry. A person, I mean me. These things never screw together properly. It drives me insane. But I don't like them in the big boxes because they're too hard to sit here on my desk. And I'm wiping off my brush over here on my pants, by the way, in case you were wondering. Oh, of course. Of course. Okay, I got you. Takes me a minute to get a pun sometimes. I'm just no pun. No pun at all. Okay. So, my next trick up my sleeve, this looks sloppy right here, but I'm just going to live with it. I am going to add some stars, and I want them to be blurry. So I'm going to take my Q-tip, and I'm just going to make little dots where I want my stars. with my pan pastel. Now, normally I would use my white pen for this, but my white pens are all being a bunch of little D words. So I took out a very brush with a very, tapered tip, and I'm just going to experiment with trying to do it with this. I can't wait to get that little inkwell thing to see if I can make it work properly. So I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to dip the very tip. That's what she said. And try and dot some on. And looks like it's going to give me trouble. No, that's not going to work. Okay, it was worth a try. Plan B. There's always a plan B. Since we're in a color range, I'm going to get a Posca pen out. And just make the little dots with the Posca pen. And when you do that with the pan pastel in the background, you gotta let it dry afterwards. Then you just kind of rub on it a little bit and you get just some nice little glows on your stars. And I want some that aren't glowing. I want quite a few. Oops, careful. And I'm just barely touching this to the paper. Because it's not the finest tip one. You guys can barely see them. I can barely see them. Because my blue isn't dark enough, but that's okay. Let's get a white Posca and see if I can make it work. I did that die. I did it and it worked for a little bit and then it stopped working. And then I tried it again, like I took it out and put a new one in, and that didn't work. The new one didn't work. You know what? Let's do it this way. Where's my mask? We don't want stars in front of the moon because you would never. Oh, Cat, you scared the living crud out of me, girl. Oh, she does that. She rubs on my legs when I'm in here. So the wider stars are like further away stars or closer up or whatever. So I've kind of got that galaxy look going on ish. And now it's time for the flowers. So I'm just going to set that over there, move this out of the way, grab my flowers, and start cutting them out. don't. Okay, you guys are just gonna have to go out of my way here. And bear with me here while I wipe some of this crap up. There's the only thing I don't love about pan pastels is they're not very easy to clean off of this stuff. You would think they'd wipe right off, but this is kind of a weird silicone. Oh, they're showing well on your screen? Okay, good. Okay. We've got this one. The cat has taken to, I leave the door open now so she can come in and out. And she has taken to sitting in the hallway between my bedroom and this room and just staring at me while I work. I don't know if I want to deal with this leaf. We'll see. Let me just get it out of the way. And so the prompt says you can use magazine images, use whatever, use your ephemera that you have already on hand. As long as you're kind of ish within the color prompts. And guess what? Nobody said it had to be perfect because we don't do perfect around here. I don't know if I'm going to like this. Isn't that crazy? Um, we'll have to see how it pans out once I've got my flowers cut out. I think I need to add, some sort of a surface for them to be living on. I wonder if I have any blue violet paper. Probably not. It's just not a favorite color of mine, so I just don't have a lot of it. I wouldn't seek it out. Yeah, I love my kitty. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe I'll edit those stems. Well, I don't mind cutting out the stem. It's a stupid leaf that's, making me anxious. If you can have anxiety about art, I guess you can. But look at that. That's really tiny. Um, I'm just going to edit out the leaf. You're right. I don't mind the stem. Doesn't bother me. I'm still going to probably do some stamping and stuff on this, so it's not by any means the completed background. I'm just kind of a little ADHD on my design. I want to get my shapes out so I know where to go with it. I'm looking forward to a rainstorm today because I love to nap during the thunder. See, I didn't do bad trying to get a blue violet. Next week is purple or violet, which I'm excited for because I do love purple. It's not my favorite, but I do love it. I own a lot of purple things. I should be looking at the chat. Okay. Yeah, I've got things stuffed in my white gel pens and it when I first did it, it worked. I used that gummy eraser that comes apart. It worked really well. And well, actually probably too well because what it did was kind of made it come out too fast. And then the next time I went to use it, it didn't work at all. And I was like, well, what the heck? It was such a good hat. Okay, this one will be super easy. Since this is supposed to be collage, I'm thinking in my mind while I'm cutting this out that I'll do book page mountains. Because I'm weird. I'm just weird. Or hills, I should say. I mean, I could definitely do some mountains on here and cover up a lot of that crap where I didn't wait for the paint to dry, but I'm not gonna. So you can see this stuff doesn't really smudge or anything once it's on this particular paper. I can't answer for other papers, but on this paper, it kind of stays put. And I'm sitting here trying to think of how I can make this darker without screwing the whole thing up, but I don't think I can. So in a case in a tiny stem like that, I'll go to the very edge and then I'll cut from the other direction so I'm not bending my paper when I cut. I know it's in your name, but that doesn't mean, I mean, so I watched this thing this morning about Tombstone. It was an interesting story about the filming of it and the original story that got cut way back by Kurt Russell. Um, yeah, I like stuff like that. Love the movie Tombstone. It's a favorite. Of course, I think it's a favorite of everyone. Music paper. Very good, Di. Thank you. That's an excellent idea. Excellent. See, this is why we do lives. This is why. Because I can use my neutrals, right? You guys, I'm way better at fussy cutting right on the line than I am trying to make an outline of my own. Can't do it. I blow at that. One more. This paper sticks to this stuff though. It's so hard to pick up. Get rid of this garbage here. I love Overboard. I do. I love Kurt Russell in just about anything. I loved him in the Santa Claus movies. He's so cute. So cute. And the funny part is that when Mike was young, he looked just like Kurt Russell. How Kurt Russell used to look in his way youth. Goodbye, leaf. Goodbye, cruel leaf. This leaf can stay. I usually don't try not to do that and leave that hanging because it's my MO to snag it and break it off. I got to show you guys something here in a minute. Because you know, I tell you all the time, Mike picks up treasures on the roadside. I got to show you the treasure he found. He calls me up and he says, "Hey, do you want these Mardi Gras beads?" I'm like, I don't think so, because Mardi Gras beads are typically just plastic, like you can't restring them or reuse them really. But they're not Mardi Gras beads. I'll show you. So it's thoughtful of him to pick up treasures for me too. He finds jewelry all the time, but his main thing is he's always looking for, you know, precious metals. Because that's what you do when you are a junker or a scrapper or whatever. You scrap metal. There we go. All right, let me show you. All right, where you at, Kat? I just mostly worry about her being under my chair and then rolling back and injuring her. Let me move this. This is one continuous strand. And I started thinking about the person who beaded these all onto one long strand. Believe it? And a lot of them are just cheap plastic beads, but there's also glass beads in here and some interesting shaped beads. I'm not a big fan of plastic beads at all, but I don't. There's a part of me, and tell me what you think. You know, I might use these pearls though. Um, that doesn't want to unstring it, thinking about the deceased person who strung it in the first place. Like, what was their thinking? Was it a Zen thing? Were they praying while they were doing it? Was it just something to do? Um, why? Why would somebody do one long strand like this? Yeah. So, isn't that a cool find though? But I like to think about the stories behind something like this too. Let me see if I can get it all back in the pile. I've already untangled it twice. Okay. Yeah, probably so. Probably just left over on a, you know, big strand of fishing wire. All right, now we're gonna find music paper. This. Let's see if I have it. If I even have it. I'm sure I do. Oh yeah. I don't know. Did I show you this that I found at the one of those thrift stores that I go to? It is completely torn up, but it's an old hymnal, songs and hymns. Come on, let's all go home. That's a very short song. Kind of like it. Okay. I love this cover too. It's so torn up. And then somebody, you know, wrote in there. All right, let's think this through here a little bit. Maybe something like that. Maybe higher up. Okay, I need my extra fingers here now, because now I need to start composing. And maybe I can fix some of my mistakes by having my little hilltop a little bit higher. That's not exactly fixing, but hey, come on. Cut me some slack. I'm not entirely sure I like the color, though, of this. Mm. Oh, let me see if it had. I remember looking for a published date, but I don't remember seeing one. No. I looked it up, though. I did. I looked it up. Okay, I'm gonna tell you how I looked it up. I know I brought my phone in here. Here it is. Let's do a reverse image search. Okay, camera. Okay, then we go to Chrome. We'll go, if you've never done this before, you just click that thing, continue. You pick a picture, and then this is a vintage 1939 edition of a favorite Psalms and hymns. See, I love reverse image. Look in the spine of the pages. I can't really see that. Looks it just says favorite songs, but 1939. Oh, no, hang on a second. I was afraid of that. Sorry. Yep. Okay. So the antibiotic that I'm on doesn't really work that well with what's wrong with me. So I have to get on a different one. And I suspected that was going to happen because it's not really getting better like it should. I'm not loving this. Let me try something different. Where are my, dang it, Bobby, Mike's gonna hate me because I have to go back to the pharmacy, pay more money. No, I am gonna put some words on. I think I'll use this one. Oh, oh, I forgot what I'm doing here. What am I looking for? Oh yeah. Ugh, I hate that other antibiotic I have to be on. Yeah, I kind of like this better. Yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm not even gonna like decoupage that on, I don't think. Yeah, I like them too. The Tim Holtz collage papers, definitely. Let's grab some media glue. Let's just, hey, don't move. Don't move. The music paper was a good idea. I just didn't like the color. It didn't, I felt funky about it. Oh, I wanted to cut that leaf off. There we go. Now I just left the bottom open so that I can arrange my flowers the kind of the way I want them. Tweezers. Do I have it crooked? I do. I thought I laid it on there straight, but I didn't. Well, it is what it is. Okay. Like I said, this paper is very difficult to pick up. It's just got this weird stickiness to it. Crap on a shingle. This is more collagey anyway. All right, somebody tell me how I have that Hallelujah song stuck in my head now. Probably because I picked up a hymnal. Oh yeah, absolutely. You can stamp on that. Why did you move when I didn't give you permission to move? Stay. Okay, so what I think I want to do now, because this is glued down like that, I'm gonna trim off that excess here. So I'm not as bothered by the way crookedness. Straighten that out. Oh, I got you. Okay, let's see. I almost feel like I want one more flower right here. Right there. I do. I do want one more flower. Okay. Let's color one up real quick. Which one do I want though? I think I want another cupped one. I did color a couple of big ones. Printed them actually in Photoshop, but see, they came out a little more purpley, so I added the blues, but they're kind of huge compared, so I don't really want them. I don't want a huge one. Okay, let's move some crap out of my way here. Let's go ahead and get the darks in first. I'm just doing a quick color on this one. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. See, that's bad. That song will sit in my head for days on end. Days. See how hard that is to pick up off of that surface? Well, thank you, Paula. Hi, Paula. I want this one to be just a wee bit darker. A little bit more vivid in color. Vibrant. Do, do, do. Now I want to watch Shrek. Okay, scissors. I'm gonna be doing a little glitter on this one too, friends. But I won't do the glitter until I have it glued into the book. Maybe. I don't know. I don't. I don't know. Should probably lift the lid off my glue. Over there. I don't think I need such a long stem. Let's see. Yeah, I do. I need to shorten it just a teeny bit. Yeah, I feel a little bit more balanced that way, even though this thing's crooked and it's going to drive me crazy because it's crooked. I'm not sure there's really any way I can fix it other than taking it off and doing it over or collaging another layer over it. Could do that. I don't like the bug right there, though. He's too distracting. Yeah, that's what I'll do. That's what I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. Let's get a brush. Yeah, I could angle it so it's meant to look that way. That's a good idea. I want to cover my flower though. Let's just do a little bit more collaging over top, and that will satisfy me. Mod Podge. I'm going to water it down. Okay. And come on, Mod Podge, make the lid go on. If you forget to clean this off like I always do, your lid will act like a, you know what. I have a giant bottle of Mod Podge too, but my plan is to just refill this one when it gets low after I water it down some, because why not? Okay, let's do, I don't know that I necessarily want these words on here. I don't know that I want those ones. I want something maybe a little different. No, I don't. I don't think it needs it. I don't. Let's try that. I don't want to go too crazy on it because I don't want to distract away from the flowers that are about to get glittered. I mostly just want this dry on the edges so I can trim off the excess. Ah. Okay, let's grab the closest I could. Remember, I said it was the closest I could get. Maybe I can mix and match. Let's grab not prize ribbon. Yeah, let's grab Chick Sapphire ink and a little end edge brush thingy thingy. You might want to put that on there straight. Oh yeah. There I'm getting the darkness I was looking for. Remember? Just want to do it lightly up here. Give it that nice vignette feeling. Okay. Okay. Now for the glitter. So first things first, find my glitter spreader pen. It has a name. What it is, I can't remember, but I'll tell you in a minute. This is a Quickie Glue pen and a piece of paper. Tap glitter off. And the glitter. And this is just the rock candy. Okay, I want some glittery. Always got to make it sure it's running. And I just do a little at a time in this instance because, you know, this stuff dries pretty quick. Just do one little flower at a time. And I'm just random here, fairly random. Doesn't you stay on this paper. I don't want to dump it back every time. That takes too much time. I'm getting messy. Thank you. Thank you very much. I have a couple more of these Quickie glue pens around here somewhere because I like them so much for this. Oh. Yeah, Mike's gonna kill me when I tell him he has to go back to the pharmacy. Okay, just a few more. That's gonna be in the sky. Where it sticks, it sticks. Where it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm okay. See the little pieces? Giving the flowers kind of that glowing in the moonlight feel. And that's it. Let me just clean up my glitter here. Put the lid on my glue. And we'll get this into the book and call it a day. So I can go tell Mike he has to go right back to town. Unless they did it for him. Hey, I'm still live, but she gave me a different prescription. Yeah, the ones that they owed me. Yeah, it's not working. It's not gonna kill the problem. So you have to go back and get the right one. So anyway, let me finish my live and I'll talk to you. Well, we'll just call it done because I gotta go talk to Mike. But I'll put this in the book and I'll see you guys next week. If I don't see you before then, thanks for stopping by and take care. Have a great weekend.